Alright, cool, we're live. In case people don't know, I'm playing Emerald Kaizo. I'm just chilling right now. Oh, what the hell? That's actually pretty good. Wait, do I have Pokeballs? I think I have Pokeballs, right? Oh yeah, I have 5 Pokeballs. I guess I should probably catch some. Sprink pretty good. Actually, I have no idea if Sprink is good in Emerald Kaizo at all, so let's see. I mean, I'm not playing this with hardcore Nuzlocke rules. I would be completely destroyed if I did. But yeah, if anyone wants to if anyone wants to chat and shit before I bring on my client, let me know. Okay. Let's see, might as well catch that. Okay, I guess I had to level up Sprink a little bit. I hacked some rare candies into this, but I'm gonna just play with the rule where you can't out-level the, what's called, the next gym leader's, Pokemon. Wait, don't I get the running? Don't I need to get the running shoes? I feel like I should have gotten running shoes or something. Yeah, it's Pokemon. So it's a mod, called Emerald Kaizo, and apparently it's like some super hardcore mod, where, all the trainers are exponentially harder, and the game is like much more balanced. So I just kind of started on this, and I'm just like, huh, I want to see how hard it is, and turns out it's actually kind of difficult. Like, it's really fucking hard, so it's kind of fun to like unwind with this, actually. I think this wasn't like my first Pokemon game. I think my first one was Pokemon Crystal, and then my sister got what's called Pokemon Ruby. I got Sapphire, and then I think I remember Fire Red and Leaf Green coming out and stuff. So, and yeah, I remember like my next Pokemon game was like I think Fire Red, and then after no, my sister was Fire Red. I'm Leaf Green, and then I got the what's it called? God, the Emerald version, yeah. Anyway, so let's see. I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to get like running shoes. This would make the run a lot easier. Okay, thanks. But I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to get running shoes, right? Yeah. Okay. There we go. There we go. The running shoes are here. So I did get them. I guess it's been God, I totally forgot about that. Okay, whatever. Actually, hold up. What's the maximum level of Roxanne? I think it's like level 12 or something, right? Let's see what nature. Oh, okay, calm. Oh, okay. You still gotta try playing Pokemon as a Nuzlocke. Fire Red was my first Pokemon game. Dude, like, have you? I don't know who does like the best Nuzlocke challenges. I think this guy named Daily Pokemon Challenges. Like, he did a hardcore Nuzlocke of this game, and I think he failed like 150 times or something. Some kind of insane number. So it's like, I watched that and I'm just like, holy shit, I actually want to try doing that one of these days, but maybe not Nuzlocking it. Nuzlocking would just be like, holy shit, I would probably spend 3 months of my life just trying to do that. I'm okay with just doing it like a casual, where it's like, I cannot out-level the, what's called, the next gym leader's, Pokemon. I think that'd be kind of interesting. Yeah, let's switch it up. Okay. Yeah, see, like Sunkern gets like fucking protect, and we get speed boost on Torchic, so. Togepi, yeah. Oh wow, that actually fucking hurts, Jesus. The heck? These people get berry juices? Jesus Christ. Wow. You love to see it. Oh man. Gotta try the newer games. The last one you played was Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Yeah, dude, I don't know. Like, after Diamond and Pearl and Platinum, I kind of just dropped Pokemon. I couldn't friggin', like, keep up with the new generation at all. Like, there's just, like, so many new mechanics. I don't understand Dynamaxing. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't understand that mechanic. Primal Reversion as well. I don't understand that. I think it's just, like, what? You attach an item to Kyogre and Groudon, and then suddenly they get, I don't know, some kind of boost or something. I don't know. And then there's, like, the Mega Evolutions as well. Alright, anyway. If people want me to play this after the stream, let me know. Because I don't know. I'm kind of interested in seeing how far I get in this game. Because I think like after Victory Road, all the Elite Four's Pokemon become like level 100 or something insane. Yeah, I should also look up the trainer levels actually. Alright, cool. We actually made it to Petalburg. It's 9 PM. I guess I'll save here. Alright, let's bring on my client then.
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
I mean nothing much. Nothing much has changed since our last session. How about you?
Okay, nothing much has changed? Cool, cool. Alright, alright. Yeah, I know we had a brief chat before about like looking at your mistakes. But if nothing much has changed, did you do any new problems?
Yeah, I did new problems. I've started to now I'm starting to talk a lot less. That when I rewatch myself, I find that I'm talking too little.
Okay.
But I mean, hopefully I can starting to get a balance for it now.
Mm-hmm. So when you say too little, what do you mean too little? What makes you say it's too little?
So in the most recent question, basically, so if I don't understand a problem, like I started to just not talk. I'll say like an idea, and then after that, I'll write the pseudocode out. Sometimes when I start writing code, I forget to say, hey, I'm gonna start writing code. Here's a high-level description of what I'm going to do.
Okay.
But I do write the initial high-level description, but like the lower level, but still high-level description of what I'm gonna do.
Okay, so here's the thing. When you write out the pseudocode, that should basically be the words that come out of your mouth. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
So okay. So what you're saying is that you're not able to talk through your pseudocode. You're only able to produce the pseudocode.
Yeah. That is sort of what it is. Like sometimes, like if I remember, then I'll say the high level description. But sometimes I forget about it, and then I just go like, okay, here, this is what I'm going to do, and then I write out the pseudocode, or just sometimes just start writing pseudocode.
Okay. So I mean, it's fine because at least for now, I'd rather you come up with a solid idea, clean end-to-end execution, and not say anything, than talk a lot and not get an answer. So
yeah.
So okay, I don't think we're at a problem situation right now. I think what needs to happen is just literally for you to say the pseudocode when you write it. And then eventually with time you will wean yourself off of it.
Yeah, for the pseudocode, is it better to talk while I'm doing the pseudocode? Like explain at each line, like this is what I'm gonna do at this line, or like just a high level description and then go with the pseudocode, read it out first, and then at the interview ask any questions while I'm running the pseudocode, then go dive deeper.
That's a hard answer. Here's the thing: when you look at like interviews and stuff, most people are just able to talk through their idea, right? And that's essentially what the pseudocode is, right? The fact that I make you write it is merely just an exercise. At some point, you're gonna give up the pseudocode, right? So what you're really asking is, do I even need to write pseudocode? And I'm gonna tell you right now, eventually you won't need to. So whatever you write in pseudocode, you should think of the words that are gonna come out of your mouth. So let's do an example. So let's look at what's called one of your diary entries, right?
Okay.
So which one do you think you want? Which one do you think is the best one that you did?
The best one, I think for the best one would just be no. Okay, I have a short one, but it's not the best one. You can try looking at 160 while I find another candidate.
Alright.
Roll 160.
So let me look at 160. Let me see what the problem is. Problem: remove first name duplicates. Okay, so let me expand it out. Give me a second.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, it took 3 minutes around high level description, naive solution. Create a hash table that only hashes the first names. Return the list of hash name trees, order n. Okay, yeah. So time, space, complexity. So yeah, let me bring up the actual problem sheet. Give me a second.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. This EPI, right?
Yeah, EPI. Yeah.
Good. Okay, and then the name of the problem was remove first name duplicates. Cool. So let's look at the problem statement. Design an efficient algorithm for removing all first name duplicates from an array. So for example, if the input is Ian Botham Graver, David Grower, Ethan Bell, and Ian Chappell, though one result could be Ian Bell or David Grower, or David Grower and Ian Bell, because we've eliminated all the Ians, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm actually very familiar with this because Bash does something very similar. Anyway, so I actually know the answer. I already know the answer just because of Bash scripting. But anyway, let's look at what you did. So create a hash table that only hashes the first names and returns a list of hash table entries. So this is like what you can read out. This is literally the words that should come out of your mouth. Say, hey, I'm going to. The most naive way to do this is to create a hash table that only hashes the first names and return the list of hash table entries. The thing is that, well, the problem what you noticed is that when you say hash table, it hashes one item to another item, right?
Yeah.
So you hash based on first name, but then you also need to say what the value is.
Oh, okay. I mean, the value would essentially just be the full entry, like the first name, last name.
Correct. But that's the thing. You notice like what you just did here is the same thing I've been mentioning before. You're missing out details.
Okay.
It's literally, imagine if you said just this. Does that make sense?
Create a hash table only on the first name. Yeah, I mean, it would cause some confusion on what the value is.
Yeah.
Like what we're storing. Like, fine, we have a place to store it now, but what are we actually storing?
And I hope you wrote that in your fucking callback when you decide to grade yourself.
Oh, okay, no, I don't think I did.
We talked about this, man. Anything that heuristic. Yeah. We talked about this.
Yeah, I think this time it was because that was a naive solution that I didn't really go through. I didn't implement, so I didn't have to go too much into detail with that one.
Okay, that's fine, but it's still the spirit of it that you should still at least, have it. Because remember, these naive solutions, they work for a reason. So you want to be treated as if this was the solution you're going to submit, even though you're going to, discard it. You should still be somewhat detailed, because what if you need to evolve the solution?
Yeah, okay.
You lose details on details. So we've already talked about this. If I swear to God, if I have to repeat myself again, holy fuck. But yeah. So anyway, that's fine. So you understand what needs to be done here. So the next step would be like, okay, well, what is the inefficiency? The inefficiency is that we're using so much fucking space, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you said
yeah, go.
Go ahead. So you say we can sort the list by first name and second name, breaking ties. Okay. Well, that's the thing. Well, where are you going with this? So let's say, So let's say when we talk about the problem, when you think about the interviewer, he's gonna say, "Why were we gonna sort this? I don't understand where you're going with this, and why is it important to break ties?" So then you would just say, "Okay, well the full idea
Yeah.
is that I'm gonna sort the list of items, sure, and then have a right index, and then for each name in the list, from after the first element, if the name is equal to the previous name of the list, you're going to write the." Okay, well, let's do a litmus test. Does this make sense to you as pseudocode? If a 5-year-old walks in and reads this, can they understand this?
I think they would be confused a little bit on the list part. I should probably specify names for each name in the names list, starting at the second name, but then I put the 1 colon to specify that. I should probably write at a high level description beforehand, as in we're sorting the list because we want the neighbors with the same name next to each other.
Okay. So why don't I see that?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you want elements next to each other and then just like eliminate all the elements that are. I get what you're trying to do. I understand that.
Yeah.
My question is, why isn't that the pseudocode?
Yeah. I didn't write the high level description. I should have. But so the pseudocode, I mean, for each name and list, I should specify the variable names a bit better for name and
No,
list.
you're missing the point. You're missing the point.
Yeah.
Remember, I've said this again. I'm going to say it again. Someone walks in the room, doesn't know what the problem is, should immediately look at the board and be able to catch up. I've said that multiple times. Why is that not sticking? Let me ask.
I think in the moment, I feel like I've understood it, and it seems pretty good in the moment.
Okay.
I just need to look at it I need to look at the entries not after, like immediately after.
Okay.
I write the code.
Okay, well, that's fine. You make a mistake in the moment. Why don't I see you grading that mistake? I don't see anything like any description of how you're gonna do better.
Yeah.
Why don't I see that?
I think this one was one of my diary entries, so I was
Row
gonna
160.
fill that
I'm
in
looking at it. I don't see anything of like the delta or anything you could do
Oh,
better.
yeah. No, I totally forgot about the delta. I don't know why. I think this is one of my videos that I was supposed to watch and then critique after myself.
Okay.
So I left that out until after. So, but I think I forgot to do that in the moment.
Okay.
Currently.
So if I go to another row, I'm not gonna see that. I'm gonna see like you're gonna have a delta for the other stuff, and you're gonna catch your mistakes.
I mean, I have a delta for the other questions. I think for the other ones, it might be. I still use list, as a variable name because whenever because I feel like list is an easy way to specify that it's a list instead of the variable name that give me, which is a, which is a bit weird. I should probably specify like list as in names list. I feel like when I do these problems, I feel that I assume that the reader has already read the question beforehand. So I think that's a
Even if I read the question beforehand, let's take that example, right? Let's say the person has read the question beforehand. I know what the question is. Now, if I look at your solution, is it immediately obvious what you're doing?
Okay, probably not. I think I should specify why I'm sorting the list to make it a bit more obvious.
No. You know what? Let me show you how I would write it, and maybe something will stick. So I'd say, so the goal is to sort list of names, and then for every name, sort names by first name, right? And then for every name or name entry, every name entry, if the first name is same if name I'm looking at is same as let's say the previous one, skip or something.
Okay. Are you typing this out somewhere?
Yeah, I'm typing. Okay, I don't know. Okay, hold up. Let me do it in your prep doc just so I can show you. Okay, so let's say I have this right now. I'm gonna delete it later, but
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
so okay, so let's say I'm gonna sort my list of first name or entry, right? And then so for every name in the entry, I'm gonna keep a list of let's say keep 2 pointers, a iterator, and a forward, right? If the forward name is is the same as the iterator, the forward first name is the same as the iterator's first name, skip writing, and else, forward first name gets, or skip writing, or then else iterator plus or something like this, right? So the point I'm trying to do here is that I'm trying to just overwrite whatever I want to have in the final list.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is
Okay,
I'm kind of explaining this a little bit badly, even myself, but I'm doing this on the fly. But you understand what I'm trying to do here.
Yeah, I think usually when I explain 2 pointers, it's a bit hazy because I don't specify exactly which is which. I just say, okay, these are the variable names. They're gonna represent this, but I should probably have, okay, this variable is gonna represent the iterator. This variable is gonna represent the forward, or whatever it's supposed to represent.
It has nothing to do with variable names. It just has something to do. It just has to do with how you present the idea. So, in other words, even if this idea is like confusing, even I understand it's confusing. I would go ahead and do an example like Alice Jones, I'd say Bob Saget, and then Bob Denver, and then Chris Tucker. I would just go ahead and do an example just off because I understand immediately that hey, this might be a little bit confusing because it's a little bit awkward, right, for me to come out of my mouth. So I'd say like, oh, I have an iterator here, and then I see that these are different. So then now I will go ahead and move here. Bob Saget is the same. Bob Denver is the same. Move forward here, and see I see it's different. So then I write Chris Tucker over here.
Okay.
I would do something like this. So even if this shit is confusing, I'm still doing an example, and you immediately understand what I'm doing here. Now it's of course I'm gonna clean it up later on and try to make this better, but you can see like I'm showing my thoughts.
No, yeah, for sure. I usually do examples too.
But why don't I see it?
Yeah. Usually, I think I forgot this one because it seemed. Yeah, I think I forgot this one. It was careless of me.
It shouldn't be careless. It should be automatic. That's the thing. You shouldn't. At this point, these heuristics of like, hey, it's awkward for me to explain. Hey, maybe I should do something to help the interviewer understand what I'm doing. This should be automatic. It's not about being what's it called? Aware of it. You are aware of it after the fact, and then you're going to do everything you can to fix it. But in the moment, you should understand how awkward it is to explain what I'm doing.
Yeah, I think 2 pointers explaining when I have yeah, never mind. Keep up.
In other words, so how the question now is, okay, now that you know when looking back on it that's a mistake, how do you fix that? Well, for one, you're going to say, hey, well, this looks too much like code. Instead, maybe I should try, maybe you doing it a little bit more like English sentences, right? This is probably a time where I might want to have English sentences. But even then, I still have variable names. I can say iterator and forward. These aren't like hard and fast, rules, but it's just a general idea. Of course, this will eventually become code, but it's about striking that balance between understandability and specificity.
Yeah.
So I don't know why this happened, but I pointed it out and you didn't write the feedback on it. So fine, I'll take you at face value that this was a mistake you forgot to grade yourself on. But I've seen quite a bit of it, so I'm keeping an eye out on that. All right,
okay.
Next one. Let's see. So let's see. So if I go through your diary, I'm not gonna find another one where you missed out on grading yourself.
Yeah, I think. Well, okay, one more I did forget. I think these were ones I had. Other than ones I had videos on, that I told myself to do it later. I think that should be it. From what I see, there's only one other one. The other ones are kind of, I did do the delta for them, but I did record myself for some of them too. I still have to watch some of those videos because recorded myself doing some of the questions after our previous talks to make sure I can take a look at them later to see if I really understand it and grade myself more properly.
I mean, we talked about the consistency of practice.
Yeah.
And you keep saying, "Oh, this I missed out on doing the delta on this. I missed out doing the delta on this." Then my question is, when are you not going to miss out on the delta?
I mean, I had the delta on most of the questions.
That's not my point. My point is that it has to be consistent. If I have like delta on 80% of my questions, fine. That means 20% of my effort has gone to waste.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, you have 10 days to the interview. Is that good enough? Do you want to be like 80%?
No, I want to be 100% ready.
Okay, well, you're like you said, you missed out on what? Out of the 5 questions you did, you missed 2 deltas. That's 40% down. You lost 40% efficiency. If a machine is 40% is only 60% doing 60% of what its advertised are doing, you're gonna throw that fucking machine out, right?
That's true. Yeah. Okay. Well, after this, then I'll go rewatch my videos and fill the delta more thoroughly.
Delta, be very specific about the mistakes and make sure you use that explain like I'm 5 heuristic.
Yes, explain like I'm 5. Yeah.
Yeah. And so,
it's becoming a bit difficult explaining like I'm 5 because I feel like I'm 5, and then when I understand it, sometimes I feel like okay, this is good enough, sort of thing.
Well,
but, yeah.
Notice when I was doing it, even I felt myself, hey, this is a little bit awkward to explain, and it wasn't consistent. And so that's why I did the example. It's like, once you recognize that mistake, you'll recognize it coming out of your own mouth. And once you recognize it coming out of your own mouth, you can adjust.
Yeah.
That's what you want. It's like, even though you try to do it, there's going to be scenarios when you can't, right? So sometimes it just fucking happens, right? So the question is, what do you do? Do you just keep chugging along? Or do you try to correct it? And what I did was correct it. What you did was basically said, I'm not even paying attention to it. That's the worst part. That's the worst one. When you don't even know you're making a mistake. I can accept that. I can accept an explanation like, hey, I knew I was doing something wrong. It felt a little bit awkward writing this, but I wasn't sure what to do. I can accept that. I can't accept you not looking at your own mistakes and not recognizing it.
Okay.
So,
sorry.
I mean, it's how serious you want to be about this, but all I can do is I can only help you like this, but whatever you decide to do, you decide to do. Alright, next one.
If you want to look, then I think, one question over here, I think on row 158 would be one where I try to get examples on everything. The delta was just, I forgot, me trying to do some weird math things on the fly.
Okay.
I fixed that after.
Okay, let's see.
But the code, the pseudocode looks a lot like code.
Okay,
So,
merge.
because I didn't know how to explain the 2 pointers idea properly.
Okay, did you try to fix that?
Well, this is an earlier entry than the other one. I did try to fix that.
Did you
By writing out the example.
Okay.
But yeah, I wrote out the example like above it.
Okay, so let's see what you did, and then let's see how we can probably do it. So suppose you're given 2 sorted integer arrays. If one array has enough empty arrays at the end, it can be used to store the combined entries of 2 arrays in the sorted order. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Write a program which takes an input of 2 sorted integers and updates the first to the combined entries of the 2 sorted arrays. Assume the first entry has... Okay. So, I understand the problem, right? Let's take a look at what you did. So let's look at your prep doc. Okay, so how would we do it left to right? Let's try left to right. Okay, so m equals 2, n equals 3. Well, what is m2 and... I guess this is you doing the example? I guess
Yeah, the example,
okay, fine.
yeah.
Okay, so then now use 2 pointers m and n that are the end. Does it make sense?
End of the respective field arrays. So I mean, with the example, I feel like it kind of makes sense, but I don't know how to word it better. As respective, like end of their arrays. If I say end of their arrays, it wouldn't be descriptive because the first array has a lot of more. It has empty entries, so I can't say end of their arrays.
Did you ever just say try iterating with 2 pointers?
Try iterating. I mean, yeah, that's my way of explaining use 2 pointers.
Okay, I see what the confusion is. Okay, so let me show you how I'll do it. And wait, let me ask you. So I'm going to assume that you tried and you were stuck. You couldn't figure out how to make this better, or cleaner, or easier to read. So at least you acknowledge the mistake. Fine. So the way I would do this problem is I would not use this much code. Because the reason, like you said, it looks too much like code. A person who's 5 years old walks in the room, can't fucking understand what you just did. So what I would do is I would say have 2 pointers, one for each array, and then and then for one for each array, and then iterate through both arrays. If element at, I would say 2 pointers ij, or something like this, ij, right? And then if element I greater than element j, then add element I to array, else, and then I++, else element j, j++. Something like that. And then, and then at the end, correct for when the I and j are not at the end. If one's at the end, copy the rest of the elements, or something like that.
Yeah.
So do you understand? What the difference is?
Yeah. Well, how would you say we iterate from right to left then, like reverse arrays?
Why do I need to iterate from right to left? Why not left to right?
Because left to right, you're just gonna overwrite some of the current indices that you're considering.
Okay, wait. Let me know what. Well, why not just write 3 and then write 5 and then write 7? What? I don't understand why you need to write right to left.
Iterate 5. Say that again for the example. We're looking at the example, right?
Okay, sure. So let's say I'm looking at the example, right? I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here, right? Let me do this, right? So I'm looking at this, and then based on my idea, I'll use ij, right? Because that's my nomenclature. Right? J equals 0, right? And so then I'll say, okay, well, I and j are equal, so then it doesn't matter which one I take. So I'll just add 3, right? And then let's say I advance I++, right? Now I see 13. I'm gonna do, so I is 1, right? And I compare, j is less, advance j.
Oh, okay. I get what you're doing. The objective of the problem was so that you have to write it inside the first array, though.
Okay, write it inside the first
array.
Okay, so you can't write it to a new array. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so then that's fine. So then why not just do exactly the same thing, except you would just do it from iterate through both arrays backwards, or right to left, or something like that. And then in the end, you would just say have I and j point to. Yeah, you would still use 2 pointers actually. You would just have I point to here, and then j point to here, and then your writing pointer would just be here. And then you would decrement the writing pointer. And then array right pointer minus. And then via something like that. But but like looking at this very casually, you can understand exactly what I'm going to do.
Yeah, via right. And yeah.
Yeah, I can always fill in more details if I need to in order to try and make it clearer. But I started with the skeleton idea, and then I just filled in. And even now, you can still understand exactly what I'm doing, just doing a cursory look.
Yeah. Element I, element J. Yeah.
I mean, it's a little more verbose, but it's a lot clearer.
Yeah. I think I was stumped when on explaining that we had to iterate from right to left, but we had to stop. No, we don't stop at the same points for both arrays. Sort of thing.
Well, actually, you don't, because you're doing right to left, and you assume that all the array elements are, fixed. Then actually, what you can do is that you just eject when you're done writing the what's it called when you've reached the end of the j. I can add that in. If j less than 0, exit, because it should have already been written. The rest of the first array should have been already written, right?
If j is the second pointer. Okay, yeah. If j is less than 0, we're done writing. Yeah. But what happens if we're done? if we're done A, no, A has to be filled. No, yeah, never mind. I think that seems reasonable. Yeah.
Okay. But my point here, like, you understand how I was able to go to that idea, right? I didn't have to do this shit.
Yeah.
I just assigned, like, the confusion I think you had was like n plus 1 plus 1 or whatever, hell. I just said, you know what, I don't want to do that math calculation, I'm just going to have a pointer. I have a pointer that
Yeah,
reads and a pointer that writes.
Yeah. Yeah, I wrote that in my delta. Like, go for the simpler idea instead of trying, like, initialize the value to be that value instead of trying to calculate at every step and to just decrement the value that you stored.
Mm-hmm. Separation, the bigger idea is that separation of responsibilities. I have one thing that does one thing and one thing only.
Yeah, okay, yeah, separation. Okay, yeah, separation. Single responsibility thing, yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. I mean, that I don't think this problem was not terribly difficult. Let's see how long it took for you to do it. Did you write down the time? The duration of...
Oh, you probably have to
11 minutes.
scroll
Okay.
down.
Okay. So yeah, I'm going to say that your approach was not the cleanest, and the explanation wasn't the cleanest, but like I said, like this should be the way you write, you should do things, or at least say things, right? But for me, I mean, I still would probably need to do this for some problems, but for the most part, I don't need to.
Okay, so yeah, I need to write it out like what you do for the pseudocode. Make it have the balance between the specificity and the understandability.
Mm-hmm. The trick is being aware of what's coming out your own mouth. If you make enough mistakes and pay enough attention to your mistakes, you're going to recognize them as you make them.
Yeah, I've started, like, when I practice now, like, I'm telling myself that I need to take, like, at least 5 seconds. Not like a 5-second break, but like maybe 3 to 5 seconds before I like even say anything at first, or maybe just talk to myself, but not exactly to tell the not to the interviewer.
Sure, that's fine. But either way, the point is that it should be very simple and easy to understand.
Yeah, like the final idea, right?
Yeah.
Is it okay if like? Yeah. Okay.
So like I said, you just need to recognize that mistake in yourself and know how to fix it. And that's what I'm here for, right? If you don't know how to fix it, like in this problem, like, oh, I use too many variables, something's wrong, what did I do wrong? And you can't figure it out, that's where I come in, right? But you need to be very, very critical of each and every single one of your mistakes. If something could be done a little bit better, even 1% better, you should be hammering in on that. Every little ounce of fucking problems and inefficiencies should be looked at.
Yeah.
So it's like how critical you want to be and how badly you want it.
Yeah. Oh, I have one question that I did the example for, but I didn't do the pseudocode for.
Okay.
But I explained the high-level idea for it.
Fine. Did you feel that when you looked at the replay, did you feel that the explanation was satisfactory?
Oh, I didn't. I mean, I didn't record myself doing this one.
Okay. So which one's that one?
So this was 149.
Okay, 149. Let's see what you got here. The problem is computing least lowest common ancestor. Okay. This is a problem I usually give. Alright. So let's see. Binary nodes have parent pointers. Okay. Original solution uses height difference from root and equalizes the height difference. Move. Okay, so move both nodes up until we...
Up as in go to the parent pointers.
You could just say, I would use the words iterate up. Because I don't actually understand.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's fine. I mean, it's fine. Like, oh. Okay, I understand. Here is where you're leaving out some details. The question is, well, you can see, let's have someone walk in the room, right? Where do you think the confusion might be?
When I'm starting my new idea versus my old idea.
Partially. Let's say, but more so, I would say this is the problem. Do you know why?
Hold up, let me go back.
Okay, I see what you did here. This kind of saved it.
Yeah.
But, so basically what you're doing is you're traversing all the way up to the parent, all the way up to the root, and comparing the paths.
Yeah, essentially. Well, yeah, that's the initial idea.
Yeah.
not all the way to the root. Well, hopefully not all the way to the root, but worst case is the root. Yes.
Well, that's the thing. It has to be consistent. Otherwise, you're checking as you go, and then because let's assume it's the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
You
I mean, the worst case scenario, yes, it goes to the root. Yeah, that like it was handled in the description.
Okay, but you notice like there's a lot of confusion here. Like, are you moving the nodes up at the same time, or just iterating one node and the other to get the path, and then comparing the paths? Or
Yeah.
do you see where the
Yeah,
confusion is?
Yeah, I came into that problem even after going through the example. In the example, I did alternating upwards because I can't do two things at the same time. But when I tried to write the code, I did it both at the same time, and that caused some errors.
Exactly. So in other words, the fact that this was leading to some ambiguity, it basically kind of hurt you in the end. In other words, make this not ambiguous. I mean, of course, that's not like the most optimal solution, right? But the spirit should be there. It should always be consistently, oh yeah, this is a throwaway code, so I'm not going to be careful. That doesn't really make much sense.
Yeah. Be careful even though if it's more throwaway code, but you don't have to be too optimized about throwaway code.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Right, you don't have to be super optimized, but you should at least be careful enough that the person can understand it. And if you're going to modify it, you can massage it without, like, running into issues, without confusing yourself.
Yeah.
So, in other words, so the way I would write this is like iterate from nodes to root, recording the path. And then I would say for both nodes, iterate from root to recording the path of each. And then I would say compare the paths, find the common node. This is literally how I would explain it.
Yeah. But I have a question. So, the way you explain it, like the way I'm understanding is, you do one node first, you iterate you find one node, you iterate that node all the way to the root, and then you record each path, record the path. But then you do it for the other node right after.
Yes.
And then you iterate all the way up, right?
Correct. And then I record the path, and then I check the path at the end. But let's go your route, right? Let's say I iterate both at the same time and record both path and iterate up at the same time.
Yeah.
Does that fundamentally change my runtime on average?
It doesn't really change the runtime.
It's an optimization for sure, but it doesn't fundamentally change the runtime, and I think we can do much better. Second, you've introduced a lot of complexity into your code as well, because you're trying to do two things at once.
Yeah.
I'd rather, even if I want to go down that route, I would start off with this, because I know this works, and then I would add in what you just said afterwards, because it's an optimization on top of this base idea.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good.
Remember what we said? Get the damn idea that works down first, and keep it in its
Yeah.
form.
Yeah. My original idea with the height difference was my naive solution, like the one that works no matter what. I guess I need like a more smooth transition into the more optimized way. Then
No, it's not about smooth transition. That's a bullshit term.
okay.
It's about just simply being clear about what your idea is. Why does it work? What needs to be improved upon it? Identifying inefficiencies, and then just being logical. Smooth means nothing. No, simply saying,
Okay.
I need to connect my ideas, say how one idea goes to the next, goes to the next. That's specific. Smooth just is random bullshit.
Okay.
If it's not specific and actionable, it's bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, for when I did this question, I think my thought was, okay, the original solution uses the height equalize the height difference one. Is like, okay, do I really need to travel all the way to the root? Maybe I can record my path while I'm traversing up to the root and see if the other node has a node on that path.
Did what you just say make sense to someone walking into the room or who was hearing it?
I think there would be some difficulty because I forgot what I said too. No, I think I should probably explain it a bit better, more detailed. Write it down, like after I do say it, I think I should write it down to make it a bit more simplified.
Shouldn't you have been doing that for your pseudocode to begin with?
Writing the high level idea down first before writing the pseudocode?
Well, I mean in general. Like,
Yeah,
if you want to revise your idea, feel free to. That's fine. You know, you can get the idea down and like, hey, wait a minute, that doesn't quite make sense. Feel free to edit. Just because you write it down doesn't mean you're necessarily hard committed at this point. It's only when you write to the code you do. You're free. Like, if I write something here, can I edit it?
Yeah, you can edit it.
So why aren't you editing it?
I mean, well, this part I didn't edit because I knew that was the right solution. I tried editing the other parts. I did edit a little bit as I went through talking about
Sure,
it.
that's
but
fine.
you only see the finalized version here.
That's fine, but does this even make sense?
No, I think I should probably take away the original solution. I'll say a solution. Oops.
No, not
sorry.
even. You're missing the point. You're missing the point. Even if this is a solution, can I read that and act on it?
I think there'll probably be some confusion with equalize the height difference. Like, how are you equalizing the height difference?
What the fuck does that even mean?
Just to make height difference the same number.
And how would you do that?
You move one node up until you move the lower node up to its parent pointer until the height difference becomes the same as the other node that you're keeping track of.
Okay. I mean, that's fine, but notice how much I mean, you can write that and that explains it, and that's fine. But you notice, like, how, like, what you should have done? If I just ask you, what the fuck does that mean? You can explain it. That should already be on paper, right?
Yeah,
I
I
thought
thought
that's
like
not blatantly, like, that right there, the equalized height difference, if I, again, just same heuristic. I don't know what the fuck that means. No ordinary person can understand what the fuck that means immediately.
okay. Yeah, I thought like writing a succinct, like a really short definition would work first, and then see if they ask a question about it, and then dive deeper into it. Then I can explain it.
But that's
Like-
the thing, you should already know.
Yeah, I do know how to do it. It's
No,
just-
no, that's not what I mean.
Oh,
You should
oh,
already
no.
know if the
Yeah.
interviewer is going to run into issues or not.
Okay.
Or how maybe not with 100% certainty, but how likely they are. And I would argue that because of how short this is and just like it's like so vague, no one's gonna understand it. I mean, Chad, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't fucking understand it just looking at it right at the top of the bag. I mean, maybe I'm the crazy one, but I sure as hell don't understand it. So that's why you
Okay.
had to describe it, right? You saw like how before, when I was doing that problem with the array writing, I even had to qualify it at some points.
Yeah.
I was like, I immediately understood. Hey, wait a minute, this is not going to be clear. Let me elaborate a little bit more.
Okay. No, I get what you mean. Yeah.
Remember, you're leading the discussion. You shouldn't be like,
Yeah.
You shouldn't be like, oh, is this okay? Is this all right? You know, no. You're responsible for leading it, and you should know where we're going, and try not to lose the interviewer. Because let's say you keep losing the interviewer over and over and over again, you're gonna spend more time just trying to explain ideas that are in your head, and then lose the whole fucking trail. It's better just not to lose the interviewer to begin with.
Yeah. Not lose the interviewer. Explain it in more detail. Yes.
Not even explain in more detail. Make in just enough that the interviewer gets the idea, and then you can keep moving on.
Okay. So what if I explain the idea? If I want to explain the idea a bit in more detail, should I do like a colon here and then explain it in more detail, like blah 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 blah, or just like reword the entire thing to be a bit more detailed?
It's up to you. There's no hard and fast rule for this. Sometimes I rewrite it. Sometimes I do this. It's up to you. What you think? I would say usually, if I lose the interviewer like that, then almost always I'm going to rewrite it. And if I can't rewrite it, then I'm going to explain it a little bit more. But the moment it becomes way too verbose, I know I've already lost the guy. That's why my hard and fast rule is just like only like one idea per line.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, this is like my way of trying to be less verbose, and I think I went too much in that direction.
Sure.
Less verbose rather.
It's a
than-
balance, right?
Yeah,
And
definitely a balance.
And so the thing is that when you look at this, when you look at your mistakes, you should immediately recognize, hey, this was too vague.
Okay.
So in other words, I don't see that in your delta. I see you get quiet. So to me, knowing what I've seen, I'm going to say that's that's a slight red flag. Not because you're not talking, but the reasons why you're not talking is probably because you probably got confused at some point.
Yeah, I did get confused.
Yeah.
Like I tried to check through the design, so I didn't really count myself reading the design again, because I was just iterating over the same words. so it didn't really make much of an impact
Yeah.
or a difference in leading the discussion.
In other words, you just wasted time.
Yeah.
So that's what you should be noting. It's like it's not saying, "Oh, I got quiet and therefore I need to talk more." The question is, why did you get quiet? It's fine to be quiet if you say, "Hey, yeah, let me double check my solution." That's fine. But if you're quiet for no reason other than trying to think and not make progress in the discussion, that's a completely different issue. Especially if you did what you did last time, which is go back and forth, and then make not much progress in the code.
Yeah, that was idiotic of me.
In other words, it's about recognizing your own mistakes and scrutinizing it, understanding why you're making the mistakes. Like I said,
Yeah, I tried to identify some of my ticks. I also talked with Matthews a while ago.
anyway, so you already know what to work on. I'm already telling you, hey, maybe be a little bit better at explaining shit. But ultimately, it's gonna be up to you, how you want to do it.
I need to. Maybe I can try writing down writing the idea once, and then rewriting it again, like at least twice for every idea that I have, just to make sure it's more clear.
Sure.
At first, anyways.
The thing is that at some point you're gonna be just like rewriting the idea over and over again, and wasting time, right? The point is to get it right the first time.
Yeah, I mean, just as practice initially to make sure that I have a more clear idea.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. You can do that. But at some point you're gonna need to not do that. You're not gonna need to write it down.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to not write it down.
You're gonna have to be able to explain
the
it.
ideal goal level for the interviewee, they would not be writing pseudocode. They like able to clearly explain their idea. They don't have to write pseudocode. They just go straight into the code after explaining their idea.
You might be able to take notes, like some notes. I would say even for me, I would still want to write my top level idea. I still thinking back on my previous interviews, I did some form of pseudocode actually, but it was very fast. So I got really fast at pseudocode. That was the thing. And some interviews I didn't do pseudocode. I was able to explain the idea, and the idea was so simple that I was able to go through it. Like one example was like the dictionary one. I just fully explained it, and then just wrote it. Other times, like the dynamic programming one, I actually had to use a pseudocode. So it's half and half. It's depending on what. It's like some weird mix of not losing the interviewer and not confusing myself. That part I don't know. There's no formula. But
so it probably just depends on your confidence in you're explaining that idea.
Yeah, and it's getting that sense of, hey, maybe I'm losing the interviewer. Maybe this doesn't quite make sense because it sounds a little bit weird coming out of my own mouth. And it's and that's the instinct I'm trying to get you to get to. It's like, wait a minute, something's not right. The first step of that is recognizing I've made this mistake. The second part is being able to like recognize when those conditions happen and make it instinct. You haven't even done step one.
Yeah, trying to identify when I'm saying weird things,
or you're about to make a mistake, or a situation that you've seen before that is going to cause you to make a mistake. So that can be like a number of different things, right? It's a situation. It's really a recognized situation, right? It's like if you go to a party and there's a bunch of like drug dealers, gang members, and people with machine guns. Are you gonna fucking go to the party?
Probably not.
Do you need to go? Do you need to show up to the party and then have a shootout occur there in order to learn to not go there to begin with?
No.
Same thing here.
Yeah.
You
okay.
just say,
So
like, hey, I've seen this before. I know I might be fucked if I go in X, Y, if I do like these 10 things.
Okay. Is it okay to just like jot my ideas down at first though, and then like even if it's a little bit messy, but go over it with an example, and then like take away, like delete some of the notes that I have to clarify these are the more important ones?
Sure, you can like the whole fucking paper is scratch work, but then write down what you're going to commit to. It's okay to like flood the paper with ideas. That's fine. Just make sure you have an area where you say, hey, this is like where I'm actually going to commit my idea. You remember like your math tests, right? You have a bunch of scratch work and shit, right? Show your work.
Yeah.
And then you box your answer.
Yeah. Okay, I think what I usually do in that regard is my committing is the pseudocode, but I need to first be more careful, making sure I don't run into any mistakes before committing to the idea
Sure.
by writing out more detailed and meticulous, high level ideas.
I don't understand what the fuck that means. Meticulous, detailed, high level ideas. I don't know what that means, but it's gonna be up to you to figure out like how to do this better. Because again, it's like it's like talking styles. At some point, you already have the basics. You already have the basic framework, and you know what to do. The question now is, are you gonna look at your own mistakes and keep trying to fix them? And I can tell you like what the mistakes are, and I can tell you how to do it. But then it's up to your own instinct and your own ability to be able to like recognize them. And that part is just how meticulous you are at practicing. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I think I need to be more meticulous with practice diaries. Yeah,
It's like
I
if you watch your own fucking first, like coaching session, right? You would say, hey, that's wrong. That's a fuck up. That's a fuck up. That's a fuck up, right?
Yeah,
Being able to
do
recognize,
the same thing.
yeah, it's being
Right.
able to recognize your own mistakes and when you're likely to fuck up.
Yeah, I feel like when I do them, I feel like okay, I didn't. It depends like on the information I had at the time, and then I tend to give myself some lenience, which is not so good.
No, don't be lenient. Be strict. Be very strict. It's like I can do this better. I can do this better. I can do this better. Over and over and over again. Like remember the book Relentless. It's like there's always
Yeah.
something you can do better, and it's your job to figure those out.
Analyze myself like Kobe analyzes
Yeah.
the game.
Exactly. The dude, motherfucker's watching tape literally all the fucking time. Why do you think I make you watch your own replays? Why do you think I make you fix your own mistakes? Because that's how you fucking learn.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
I
again,
need-
it's like how
I
much
need to
you
watch-
want it. You know
Yeah.
what to do. All that's left for you to do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna rewatch all my recordings that I have stored up, and then I then go through all the diary entries again for it.
Yeah, go through your entries. Which ones are problematic and that you need to fix? Like, hey, this doesn't make sense. So, that's all I got for you for today.
Yeah.
Right. Any other questions?
I think no, that should be it. Gotta be more meticulous and self-criticize. I have an idea of how to write some of the pseudocode a bit better now, thanks to your examples.
Okay.
So I'll go over through that and compare it a little bit.
Feel free to rewrite the idea over and over and over again until you feel like you got to a good place, and then all you have to do after that, once you got to the good place, ask yourself, how do I get there faster? Right now, you haven't even gotten there yet. So.
Okay, so
Okay.
over and over again until I get to the until I strike the balance between specificity and understanding.
Yeah, and then ask
Understandability?
yourself, how do I get there faster next time?
Okay.
So.
I'm gonna drop myself that really quickly.
Okay. And did you talk to M?
Yeah, I talked to M. Yeah.
Any
I
tips that
talked
you
to
picked
M.
up from him?
Yeah, so I mean, it's basically me and him were talking about how I can improve a little bit. So basically he gave me the nice tip of don't talk more than 5 seconds at a time, which he referenced in one of your which he said he gave me the source of one of your videos.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was like the main point that helped him a lot, so I went over that. Also more of taking some time beforehand, before actually speaking, to generally organize your thoughts, to actually direct your thoughts so you can have more succinct words when you're speaking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, every word that comes out of your mouth needs to mean something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like basically just a rough mental plan
Mhm.
before you even speak, so you can be a lot more productive in your discussions.
Okay. Yep. So it seems like you have a few good tips. All that's left for you to do it. So I'll let you go ahead and try it out.
Yeah.
Anything-
Okay. Yeah, I think for the rest of the problems I'll do tonight, I'm gonna definitely focus on trying to be a lot more detailed with them.
Deliberate.
Even though if I still get confused, I'll just write chicken scratch over and over again until I keep on improving the idea.
Yeah, and then make sure you ask yourself how you get there faster and better next time. That's it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Seems like you know what to do. I'll let you go.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Take care. I'll see you later.
Okay. See you later.
All right. So that was it. I guess I'll load up Emerald Kaizo for a little bit if people want to chat. While I do, I guess, yeah, I mean, I guess I could convert this to like some kind of small gaming stream. I don't know. At least for a little bit. I mean, I still really want to play Emerald Kaizo. Wait, what do you mean you can't load the game? What the fuck are you talking about? Quick load, quick save. Load ROM. Alright, whatever. So if people have questions and stuff, like, feel free to ask. Otherwise, I'm just gonna keep playing. And maybe I'll shut off the stream in like maybe 5 minutes or something. But hopefully, like, the whatever we talked about during the stream kind of made sense to you guys. Or if there's like some parts that you guys were confused about or wanted clarification on, let me know. I'm supposed to head to the gym, right? Oh, he's just catching up with Ralts, right? This part of the story. Do I really want to catch the C-Dot? Nah. Oh, what the fuck? So with the recession looming near us, do you think internships will still be offered in the future? How hard is it to get a winter internship? So here's the thing. Even if let's say there is a recession looming, right? I would say like in general, internships have always been very difficult to get. Just because, if you think about it this way, what does really an intern offer a person in terms of value, right? Or at least a company in terms of value. So let's think of it that way. Like, let's say, you know, Uber offers a internship. Our goal is to be able to try and hire you full-time as a full-time engineer. But then junior engineers, those are difficult to, what's it called? Those are difficult to really predict as well. So what I mean by that is, like, we don't know if you're going to be useful or not. A junior engineer in general is going to be like an investment on that part of the company, and so the internship is really to try and get your foot through the door for that. So I think internships will be down, will be heavily impacted actually, if we get a recession, because we're already, like, if you saw it today, Coinbase laid off a crap ton of people. Hold up, actually, let me pull that up. So if you look at Coinbase, right, they laid off employees by locking them out of the work emails. And then Redfin did the exact same thing too. And so it's gonna be difficult for sure. But I think that if you are good enough, you can still get it. It's just that you need to be very, very good. And how hard is it getting a winter internship? It's pretty difficult because there are a lot more slots for summer internships than there are winter ones. So it's not likely that it's gonna be much harder now. So you really need to be good. And so that's where, like, actually knowing your shit and making sure each opportunity counts and really focusing on your mistakes and getting better at these problem solving and engineering types skills is really going to help you. Do recessions make grad schools, masters more competitive? I mean, like, the general trend is that people go to school whenever a recession occurs and then they come out of school out of the recession, but honestly, I don't really have much comment on that. How good are we talking about? I don't have 10 years of field experience. Well, it'll come through during the interview. Let me say that way. It's like, if you have the right problem solving skills and you can actually, like, do these interviews the right way, people will hire you. Like, if you're very fucking smart and it shows, we have no problem hiring people like that. So it's not about the years of experience. You know, there's like people with 7 years of experience who still fail these interviews and who still end up like being pretty bad engineers. It's the people who get phased out very quickly. There's a reason why like people get replaced by the young generations because their skills don't keep up. And some people think, oh, it's just learning the new technology. That's wrong. That's wrong. It's about learning the right things and thinking about things in the right way. Let me put it this way. The only other industry that has like that high turnover would be like baseball and maybe a trader. In fact, let's actually look that up. Average career span of a Wall Street trader. The average lifespan of a trader is 2 to 5 years. That's not uncommon. That's like basically professional sports level. That's probably engineering level as well. I mean, I think if I remember right, by the time you're 26, 2/3 of people basically only remained in the STEM engineering field. 1/3 of people drop out. So that is pretty much within line of this. So in other words, do traders get replaced because they get old? Nah, in fact, if you do it right, the fact that you've traded for so long should increase your experience, and your experience should increase the knowledge, and so therefore you should be a lot better at trading. Same thing with engineering. The more problems you've seen, the more projects you've been on, the more code you write, in theory, should make you a better engineer. But what ends up happening is that people confuse coding for engineering, and then they end up and they don't really think about the code they're writing. They just turn out code and then move on. And that's basically how they get replaced. It's the exact same thing here with traders. So how good are we talking about? It's basically being able to become smarter, better, and wiser. That's the short answer. Now, how do you do that? Just look at your mistakes. Don't make your mistakes again. It's really that simple. Or better yet, look at not just your mistakes, but other people's mistakes. Learn from people better than you, and copy what they do. Like if there's a staff engineer with 15 years of experience who's running circles around the entire company, and you copy his decision making and thinking, and you do exactly what he does, if he was in your situation and shoes, if you clone his idea, then it stands to reason that you're as good as him, right? If for every single problem and decision that he makes, you make the exact same decision, you're as good as him, and you should be hired as a staff engineer. Of course, it takes a very long time to get there, and that's why there's years of experience. So the question is, well, are you going to do it? The path is what you need to do is very, very straightforward. Actually, the hard part is actually doing it, because you're going to feel like shit every day for like years, and there's not too many people who can get there. But if we're talking about like internships, it's really just really thinking through the problems and doing, like, if you watch on this channel, anyone who gets a job offer here basically has a systematic way of thinking about these problems and then being able to come up with a solution, right, in a very systematic and logical way. Engineering does not change. The fact that you go and have a job, that idea does not change. That's why I think it's a big, big mistake that people think that the coding interview and actual engineering are completely different. So, I mean that's kind of a lengthy ramble, but I don't really have a actual like hard and specific criteria for you. All I can say is as long as you're thinking better than the next guy. So, I guess with that happy note, I will stop the stream. I don't see any other questions coming in, so I guess we will have a coaching session, I think, on Friday. Yeah. Friday. And by then, M should have gotten his results from Amazon. He did do his interview the other day. So we'll see how that goes. We'll chat with him about his results and how well he did. So yeah, so stay tuned for that. Otherwise, I will see y'all later. And if you guys want coaching, feel free to book me for interview coaching at echantek.com. Links in the description down below. And feel free to hop on the Discord. If you have any other questions, I'll be able to answer them as well as other people. Until then, I'll see y'all later.